now it's time to talk about digital tools. Okay, so we've talked about various tools that you can use to help you choose color. I've mentioned a few analog tools, these traditional tools, something like a Pantone book. This is the list of all Pantone colors. Another tool is a paint swatch or paint palette. If you're at Home Depot and you're looking at colors and you pick up the little pieces of paper that have colors on them, those are swatches. Those are tools that you can use to choose color. But we're going to talk about the tools that you use on your computer to help you choose some colors. So we'll talk about how to get palettes from photos. So if you have a photo with a bunch of colors in it that you really like, there's a way to extract a palette from that. We're also going to find palettes online. I have lots of links and URLs, websites, all this stuff for you to track down palettes online. We'll talk about digital color pickers. These are the tools that allow us to pick a dot on the screen, and that's the color I want. We'll talk about those. And lastly, we'll talk about styles and libraries. If you want to save your colors and use them later or hand them off to somebody you're working with, you'll need to learn a little bit about styles and libraries. Let's talk about getting palettes from photos. Start with a photo, and maybe this is a photo that you've taken, or maybe it's a stock photo or a photo somebody gave to you. That's your starting point. And there are websites that you can use to extract colors and a palette from that photo. You will be able to save these colors once you extract them from the photo. Okay, so let's cut to both of these two tools. I'm going to walk you through both of them so you can use these tools for your own photos. Here we are back at Adobe Color. So there's a variety of things you could do with this site. What I want to look at is this button here that says Extract Theme. I'm going to click on Extract Theme, and it allows me to upload a file. I'm going to click Select a File. I put it on my desktop, and here it is. It's a picture of my dog when he got the heating grate caught around his neck. Okay, now look, that's really nice. These colors, it's really extracted a nice palette. It's using some from my rug and some from my outdoor furniture. Over on the left here, we can click on Bright. That changes the palette a bit. We can click on Muted, Deep Colors. The other thing we can do is there might be a certain color in here that you really want to use. Like, let's look at his tag here. There's a red. That's interesting. And then it tweaks it based on the colors you choose. Let's give that guy there. You can really mess it up too. You know, all dark colors, but it looks pretty good and allows you to explore that photograph in various ways. All right, enjoy. This is at colorlovers.com. You need to create an account. It's free. There's lots of ads, but it does work. So I'm going to go down here to the tool, and I'm going to click on the photo button right here. And you need to have the photo online. So I'm going to just paste this URL that I had and load and say, okay, please do load. And so the photo needs to be somewhere online on a photo sharing site, or you might find it somewhere online and grab the URL. Then you paste it in here. It takes a few moments. That was real time. And boom, this is a photo of my son when he was a little guy. And it's pulled the colors from that. I thought this was interesting because there's a bright blue. There's more ads. There's a blue, and there's orange, and there's these muted tones. Now, I'm going to zoom in so you can see this a little better and go over here. And so it's set up all these different colors for me. So it has a bright palette where it's just pulled certain of the bright colors, a muted palette, the analogous palette. There's a bunch here. And so you can pull these colors, you can save them, and you can use them in your project. Those tools are super fun. Enjoy them. Let's move on to some other digital tools. You can find color palettes online in various formats. Some formats are ACO, that's the Adobe Color format. There's also ASE, the Adobe Swatch Exchange, and also Pantone Matching System. These are various formats. We'll also learn about hex codes. These are numbers that are used to identify the color. And there are a ton of sites that you can go to find palettes. I've listed a bunch of them at the end in the resources section, and we'll talk about a few, including colorlovers.com. And we're going to remind ourselves about Google Image Search. There are some other things we can do with it. You can also find color palettes at a site called ColorCo. Let's take a look at these. We've talked a lot about the things you can do with Google Images. Let's try another little trick. So if you click on the little camera icon, then it allows you to upload a photo from your hard drive. I'm going to use that picture of my dog again. And so it finds similar pictures, not quite as lovely as my dog. But one thing you can do is up here, you click this Find Image Source. Find Image Source. So then it finds all these images that are very similar. Now up here, notice the search bar. It has a little tiny picture. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer for you. It has this tiny picture that I uploaded. If I type in P-A-L-E-T-T-E, palette, then it searches for that image, but with the word palette. So see, a lot of these have color swatches in them. I'll just click on one. So here's a bunch of colors that are similar to that photo that I had. I can click through all of these. A lot of them, see, they have the hex code on them. So you can find palettes like that online just using Google Image Search. Digital color pickers. These are the tools that we use in various software that allow us to choose particular colors. I talked about hex codes. I've mentioned it a bit. What are hex codes? So these are numerical values for individual colors, right? Here's one, for example. You have the pound sign and then 6 characters, letters and numbers. And what those really are 2 characters for the red, 2 characters for the green, and 2 characters for the blue. And many, many colors can be represented with this type of code. Color pickers are the tools within the user interface for various software that allow us to pick the exact color we want. So for example, Figma has one, and this is Photoshop, and that is Apple Keynote, and Google Slides also has a color picker. And then the open source GIMP as well has a color picker. So you see some of them have a square or a rectangle of colors. Some of them have a circle. Some of them have that triangle. Really, this is allowing us to alter various aspects of the color, the hue, the saturation, the brightness, the red, green, blue, the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. All these different attributes of the color will create the specific color that you want, and you can get the hex code for that. The eyedropper is the actual tool in the palette that allows you to point to the color you want. They look different in all this various software. Here are some examples of some different pickers. Some of them look a lot like, whoops, I'm going to move my head. Look at that. I don't want to be in the way of that. So whatever they might look like, they all do relatively the same thing. This is a free eyedropper tool. The website is photoaid.com. You can see that right down there. And this you can use to upload an image. So I'm going to click on up. Let me zoom in a little. Okay, so I can upload an image, and I'm going to use my dog again. There's the color, and up here at the top, it's showing our color picker, and down here at the bottom is the image. I'm just going to click on, let's see the red out here on the deck. See, and it shows the color, it shows the hex value. If I just choose a brown in his cheek, then it shows you where it is on the color square up here, and it also gives you the hex number. So you can click all over here and find all different kinds of colors that are deep within it. And, find the one you want. You can highlight it, copy it, paste that into whatever other program you're using. Enjoy. Let's look at styles and libraries. Styles will define the object attributes. So that means the color, the shadow, the border of an object. I'll show you this in Figma. This works in many various programs. If you want to save a set of colors with a particular kind of shadow and a particular border around an object, then you'll use a style. And that way, every time you create another object that you want to have that style, you don't have to set the color and then set the shadow and then set other object attributes. You can just apply a style. Once you have a bunch of styles, you can put those styles together in a library. It's a collection of these various reusable styles. So that way you can have a whole set of different styles that you use on a project. Keeps you consistent, keeps all the colors the same, keeps things matching. Both of these will improve your efficiency, let you move at a rapid pace, doesn't get you bogged down with choosing all these details over and over. You can set it once and forget it. Let's look at an example. Here we are in Figma. So I wanted to show you how we can set some styles. So I'm going to draw a circle. It's a gray circle. I'm just going to click on the color over here. Let's choose a nice red. Good. Okay, so now I have a red circle. And it has the hex value right there. But another way we can organize this is to click on Style and click the little plus button. So this is creating a new color style. We'll call this brand red. And a description is,
this is the official brand color.
Click Create Style. So now I have this circle over here. If I decide, let's say I'm going to draw a square, it's the default gray, but I can go over here to the style icon and click it. And right here I have brand red. Boom. So now I can apply that color to anything I make. So let's delete that. Another handy little way to do it. Let's do a circle. And we'll duplicate that a few times. So let's say you have these 3 circles and you've colored them in different ways. You got a purple, you got a green, and you've got, let's say, a yellow greeny. And so you have those 3 colors. If you highlight them, there is a free plugin called Automate Color Styles. So you click on that and you get the Automate Color Styles plugin. You can run this, and I want to create a swatch from just the colors on this page. I'm going to set the color styles, and boom. Over here, you notice it's created them. It hasn't given them names. It's going to allow us to do that. And it's created this little palette here for us. And so on the sidebar, I can click on some of these colors. This one's unnamed, so I could click on the little edit button over here and call it purple. Let's just call it that because that's fun. And I can call this one green. And this one is, ooh, come on, Old Yeller. And so now I have this whole set of color styles over here. And I can use them whenever I want. Now, once I have a good set of colors, I might want to save those various styles in a library. So over here on the left, there's a layers panel, but there's also the assets panel. I'm going to click on assets. And there's a little guy right here. That's the library. I'm going to open that up. And this is our current file. We have an untitled library. I'm going to publish this. It's asking me what do I want to publish. Well, I have these 4 colors that I've created. Now I'm going to publish these styles. So because my file is called untitled, it created a library of those colors called untitled. And so I'm going to click back here on the library button, and you see we published this. So this is the set of colors that is in that library. Now you can share that with other people on your team, or you can save it for yourself for later, but this is a great way to organize your colors if you're in Figma, and it works really similarly to all other softwares. It's time to try this on your own. Here's an exercise to extract a palette from a photo. Visit one of those 2 sites that I showed you about earlier, and then take one of your photos, either your photo or a stock photo, and upload it. Extract the palette from it, and then save those colors to your hard drive. And then use Figma. You can use other software if you want, but try Figma to create a style based on those colors. Then you can use these colors over and over again in projects that you're working on.